very first followers. And then when you followed me and I, followed back, I was like, this dude is cool. Like,
if they say talk to your manager, you just say, you know what, talk to the hand. You don't need to be on my podcast. But yeah, dude. Yeah, you do a great job.
Thank you. I always get a kick out of talking with you on Patreon. You have a really good, view on it.
That wasn't planned.
You know what? But I like this Canadian.
Well,
like this one.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Hold on. We are bang live. We are live and direct. So, I'm here this morning after attending Aza's Lip Sync party. The proceeds of the party go towards an organization that provides vacations for sick children. So it was for a great cause. It wasn't for profit. They had a goal of raising $10,000. I don't know how they did with that goal, but I put my money in the pot for that, and it was a fun time. So let me talk about my experience in there. So I got to meet a lot of the BB24 cast. I think that was the majority of who was in there, actually, as a matter of fact. The first person that I think I ran into, the first person I saw was Hannah. She was busy helping with the setup or whatever, so she didn't see me at first. So I'm like, I'll get back to her. And Aza was also kind of busy setting everything up. So when I first walked in to the venue, the first person I saw in the venue was Turner. Turner's kind of tall. I mean, he's not like super tall, but taller than he looked on the show. But that was probably because he was standing next to Monty, and Monty's very tall. He was in there too. So I said hi to Turner. I was talking to Turner. Turner was looking at me like I'm somebody. And then he was like, has anyone ever told you you look like Gideon, the YouTube influencer? And I'm like, yes. I'm like, 3 people in here have told me that today. So I was just telling him how he was cracking me up on the show and just watching him. And also he had Megan there, his fiance. She was really cool. She was there actually with her professional camera. I didn't know she was like a videographer, or maybe she's not. Maybe they just, they do that for their content. Who knows? But they had a professional camera and she was walking around with it, probably capturing footage of him for their YouTube page. But he was very cool and laid back in person. He complimented my shirt. I liked my shirt. So I got the shirt yesterday at the store. What else? After I saw Turner, then the next person I saw was Nicole. BB24 Nicole. And I was so surprised to see her in there because I asked her, y'all don't know, but I think I told people on my other page about asking her for an interview. Yeah, all is well, Lisa. I'm a little tired, but aside from that, all is well. I think I had told people on my other page about how I had asked her for an interview last year, and then she was like, I will do it in a couple of months, like give me a month or two, whatever, decompress from the house. And then eventually she said, I decided that I'm not going to be doing BB interviews because of, I guess traumas from being in the house or things fans were saying when she got out of the house, stuff like that. But despite the fact that she didn't do the interview, she's kept up with me. She's told me that she watches my YouTube page. She follows me Instagram. Like if I reach out, she reaches back, or she's. So I had just asked her because I noticed that she was posting that flyer for this lip sync thing, and I was like, "Are you coming?" And she's like, "Unfortunately, I won't make that one." And then I was like, "Oh, okay. I hope I get to meet you someday." And she was like, "Oh yeah, we'll meet." And the funny thing is, I think that she actually knew that she was going to meet me there. So it was a pleasant surprise. And, I talked to her. She was really cool. And I'm not going to guarantee it, but she told me that she would talk to me about potentially being in an interview for me on my channel. She told me that when I see her tonight at the premiere party, that we can talk about that. And that wasn't me asking her. That's just what she said to me when she met me. So maybe it was like confirmation that I was cool when she met me in person. And I don't know, maybe time has gone by and she's in a better space than she was right when she came out of the house. Now, I'll get this one out of the way. Taylor wasn't there, I don't think. I mean, somebody could tell me otherwise if they saw her, but I believe that she was not there. Hi, John. And hi, Lisa, if I didn't say that. I did say that. Yeah. So Taylor wasn't there. I'm pretty sure she's going to be at the premiere party tonight, but I don't think she was there at the lip sync thing yesterday. So Joseph was there. This time, I got to talk to Joseph. We had a good conversation. We had some laughs. I told him that I felt bad for him at what's it called? Dire Fest, the split house twist, and he was like, "Oh yeah, man, the split house twist was rough." He's a pretty funny guy, just like what you see. He likes to laugh. He was cracking jokes. He's pretty funny. And I was especially happy to get to talk to him because of the fact that last year when I said I didn't get to talk to him, people thought I was hating, or people thought that I was saying something negative about him, when I was literally just saying I came in there and I hoped to be able to speak to him, and I didn't get a chance to speak to him. So this time I was actually glad that I got a chance to talk to him and just tell him some of my thoughts on the show. I didn't go too in depth or anything like that, but the conversation that we did have was fun. Yeah, he is a cool guy, and he seemed, actually, to me, this is just as an outside observer, more relaxed than he did when I saw him in Philly. Like, he just seemed, maybe it's just a thing where it's like a year has gone by, like they've kind of gotten used to the fame and the fans and whatever. Like at that time when I had seen him, they were fairly fresh out of the house. So perhaps it was just like, this is so overstimulating at this point. There's more to get into, though. There's more to get into. Everybody was there. Okay, so the next person that I saw, Joseph was not, this was not in order. I just threw that in there. I told you guys I saw Turner, then I saw Nicole. The third person that I saw was Michael. And it was interesting, like, Michael seems so confident in the Big Brother house environment, but in that environment that I saw him there, he's a little quirky. He was a little bit of a quirky guy, but he was a nice guy also. But it's just so funny to like think about the Michael impression that you get from the show. And then also you think about the whole situation with Michael and the Kyle and everything, and how he was defending himself on all these different podcasts, and he kind of became somewhat of a villain after the show because of that whole what's it called, Cookout 2.0, using the information at an opportune time type of thing. But when you talk to him, it's like you don't even really see that guy in him, that ruthless guy that made that eviction night speech about all the things of Brittany, of what Brittany was doing wrong. Like, he doesn't even seem like that guy. But maybe he was that guy for the game. That's how it goes. Brittany was there too. I did not really get a chance to speak to her, but the reason why, I don't know how long she stayed in there, but it's just like when you go there, there's so many different people that you can't talk to everyone. I would say that I got to like 80% of the people, but I got to basically everyone else that I wanted to get to except for her. I got to them. She was just having a pretty long conversation with somebody when I was talking to Michael. And then before I could get back to Brittany, I was going around the room, and I think by the time I was done meeting everybody else and I was looking for her, she wasn't there. But the good thing is we got the premiere party tonight. So I hopefully will get to speak to her there. Yeah, they were in the eye of the storm at that point. Glad most of them seem to be in a better headspace now. They sure do. They sure do. Especially like Nicole. Well, I don't know. I don't know if Nicole has really talked about it, but she talked about it with me. So it was cool when I saw a lot of them know me by name now. Because I was like walking up to Cache, like, hey, Cache, I met you. She was like, I know you, Mark, like, or Hannah and Azza were like, hey, Mark, thanks for coming, blah, blah, blah. I didn't have to identify myself to them or anything because they've been seeing me at several of these things. Dina was in the building. I don't know why, but I thought it was just so cool to meet Dina, because I've been watching her on Jersey Shore for so long. It was like, oh, here she is in person. I think I got a picture with her somewhere. Yes, I do. Yeah, got a picture here with Dina. What else? After Michael, I went down to the floor and I went to go sit in my seat. Then they started the lip sync battle. It was pretty fun. They had some people doing J-Lo. They had like a Beyonce thing. Dina. Yes, this was a lip sync one. Dina did a lip sync. I would play it for you guys, but it's just like, the whole YouTube thing. YouTube doesn't allow you to play anything. So now for the controversial ones. I mean, nothing controversial happened that night. I'm not saying that. But I know that a lot of y'all don't like Monty. I met Monty. He was pretty cool. He's very tall. Everybody seems to be like cool with Monty at this point. So I think that, and when I say everybody, I'm talking about the cast. Like Big D. I remember Big D hated Monty and he said he doesn't like the guy, blah, blah, blah. But, it looks like he was accepted by the cookout. He was accepted by the other reality TV community people that were there. So I don't really know. Behind the scenes, perhaps he has made amends. Perhaps. I don't know. Maybe not specifically with Taylor, but I mean, Joseph was in the building. He was in the building. You know, they were talking and laughing with each other. You know, he was cool. He was hanging around with Big D. What was? Oh, I missed this question. Yeah, I think they even came in together. Because every time I saw him, I saw her. They were kind of like in the same area. Turner was hanging out with Nicole. Turner and Megan were hanging out with Nicole quite a bit. I didn't even know they were cool like that. Jasmine was there. I got to see Jasmine. I was telling her that her catchphrases were cracking me up, and I was telling her about her injury and stuff. She's very fun. She's very fun. She's very funny. My most surprising conversation of the night definitely had to be Amira. And I'll tell you guys, there were parts of Amira that I didn't like on what we saw in the show, but it wasn't like I hated Amira or anything, because I know a lot of people were just like, if you like Taylor, you have to hate Amira. But I just kind of felt more like she just joined the group. And I'm not saying joining the group makes you right, makes it right or whatever, but I'm just saying I didn't necessarily see her as the leader of the group. I just saw her as kind of following along with what the group was doing. So when I spoke to her, she was just like, my whole life, I was always popular and I was always well liked and I've always been confident. Give me 1 second, y'all. Sorry about that, y'all. So I'm going to get back into that. Sorry about that. So what I was saying was that the most surprising conversation that I had was the conversation I had with Amira. And yeah, a lot of people I know, Amira kind of had a villain edit, honestly, on Big Brother 24. So when she talked to me, she said, I'm a confident person. I've always been very confident. I've always been well liked. And she said, this Big Brother experience was the first time I had ever not been liked by a large group of people. And she was like, I came out of the show. I had people be like, you need to die. I wish you would die. She had people that were very pro, Taylor, very pro Taylor, that were very angry and saying things that were out of pocket and out of left field. And she said that it was actually very hard on her mental health. And I was following her on social media, and it looked like she was handling it well based on what I saw of her on social media. She was like snapping back at people or whatever. But I know how it is, actually. Believe it or not, I have some kind of empathy for her and for the house guests or for the TV show people in general. I've never been on a TV show, obviously, but I experienced some craziness just from me talking about my experience at Big D's birthday party last year. And that was hard on my mental health. It honestly was, because I'm like, people are throwing things out. People are throwing words out there and telling me I'm a stalker, I'm a weirdo, I'm this and I'm that. Just because I was like, I didn't get a chance to speak to Joseph and I only briefly got a chance to speak to Taylor. That's all that I said that people went so crazy for. So I could only imagine being one of the house guests and then coming out to that. So she was just like, my mental health, it was so hard on me. And she said it was hard on a lot of the cast, not just me. It was hard on a lot of the cast, and it took me some time to recover from that. And she was just like, I wish that people would understand that Big Brother is a game, right? Big Brother is a game. And she was just like, in the situation that we were in, I was playing the game. Majority of the people want this person out. It's early on. You don't want to ruffle any feathers or anything like that. So, you go with the majority alliance. She said, all of us here, there's game version of us and there's real life version of us. And people, the fans, she was telling me, like, merge the game with life. They feel like if you make a cutthroat move in a game, you make a cutthroat move in life, because this is how you are. And it's consistent, really, with anyone I've talked to from Big Brother. When I did that interview with Alyssa, she said this to me. She was like, I have the ability to separate game from life, and not everybody does. And wow, it was interesting. She was kind of bearing her soul in a little bit, in a way. I don't know if she usually talks to fans like that, but I was surprised to get that conversation out of her. I did not think that would be the person that I have the deepest and longest conversation with. And what else? Oh yeah. So then she was like, I like your perspectives or whatever. And I said, I have a podcast. And I was like, I have a page called Music and Mental Health. I'm a peer counselor or whatever. I was telling her about that stuff. And then she was like, oh, I'd be really interested in being on that. And she was like, we need more people like you to cover us. Then Indy comes over. Indy, the same Indy that I thought that I was going to be interviewing as my first Big Brother interview. She comes over. I was considering when I saw her whether I was just going to say, hey there, I'm a fan, or whether I was going to say, hey, I was supposed to do an interview with you, but this and this happened. I chose option B. I don't know. I thought that I was just going to say hi and act low key. But the reason why I decided to say that is because I want to just always be consistent in person to who I am online. I want to say things consistent to people that I've said online. So I never want to find myself in a position where I meet somebody, I talk to them. Yes, I'm talking about last night. Good morning, Janet. Yes, I'm talking about last night. I know how toxic fans can be, and Reddit forums and all that stuff. So I never want to be someone where I talk to somebody and then all of a sudden someone sends them a link to my page and it's like, oh, Mark said this, this, and this about you. And they're like, what? When I talked to him, that wasn't my experience. So I made sure to I just put it out there. I was like, hey, Indy, I had scheduled with whoever runs your email account to do an interview with you on such and such date and time last year. And I gave the Zoom link and I got on the Zoom. Nobody showed up. And then that person messaged me saying, you're busy that week and they'll reschedule. And I was like, I sent a couple of messages more, never got any responses to them, and the interview never happened. She was like, oh, I didn't know about that, which I figured. I think at the most, this scheduler might have said, I booked you for an interview at this date and this time. And she was just like, I can't, I'm busy, or whatever happened. And then it just was just like that. It just was like that. And at the time, I guess my page was just like a small growing page. It still is. But she did say that she would be willing to do an interview with me. However, I'm not telling you guys that an interview is going to happen because I had probably about 7 people in there tell me that they were going to do interviews with me. The only one that I know for sure, that I believe in for sure, that is going to do this interview, which is why I'm going to say it. One second, y'all. 1 second. Okay. Hannah. So before Hannah left, I asked Hannah, I was like, hey, Hannah, I would love to have you on my channel for an interview. She was like, of course, Mark, definitely. I support you. You know, whatever you want to talk about. If you want to talk about the current season of Big Brother, if you want to talk about my season, if you want to talk about mental health, if you want to talk about music, if you whatever direction you want to go, like, let's lock this thing in right now. So she actually just opened up her calendar, put it right. We figured out the date right then and there. She put it in her calendar. I put it in my calendar, sent her the Zoom link, and that's going to be that. Aza told me that she would be willing to do an interview with me. Michelle from Survivor. I never saw her seasons of Survivor, but I saw her on the challenge, and she was actually with Amira, talking to Amira, and Amira was telling her about me. Amira was like, "Yeah, this guy has a podcast, and it's about he covers mental health and reality TV." And Michelle was like, "Really? Like, I would love to be involved in something like that, because like a lot of these podcasts are toxic, and we don't get people who cover us in a good light or treat us like humans. Like, they see errors that we make on the show, and they hate us in real life for those errors." And I'm like, it was so validating. Michelle, Amira, and also Nicole. Nicole has been very validating for me in general, because even though I didn't get the interview at the time that I wanted that interview with her, she said something to me that always has stuck with me. She was like, "I love your channel. I watched your interviews with whoever I had interviewed at that time." And she's like, I've looked at a lot of your content. And she was like, "You provide a safe space for people to be comfortable being who they are and expressing themselves. You don't jump on people, and you don't attack anyone, and you're non-judgmental." So she was like, "I think that a lot of people are going to enjoy like being on your channel, and you're gonna have more success down the line. Like, I support you." This is what she was telling me last year, and she has stayed consistent to checking in or giving me feedback and stuff. So it was actually cool. It was cool meeting Nicole specifically too, because like it was like, I know you, but I've never met you before, but I know you because you communicated so much. And people loved her there, actually. She was quite popular, well liked in the building. I think I've almost covered. Oh, Big D. I have to shout out Big D. The reason why is because Big D probably told me the nicest stuff when I was there, because he was like, "I want to check in and ask you how you're doing with your dad, with everything that happened with your dad." And he was like, "You know that I know what that's like, because he lost his dad. It was some time ago." He was giving me advice. He was like, "My advice to you would be to just keep yourself busy, keep your mind occupied. Don't sit around by yourself, isolate, find things to do, find constructive things to do." He was just like, it's been so many years since I lost my dad. I still miss him, but the pain is like a little bit less over time. Like it doesn't go away, but it's less. It's less than it was back then when it was very fresh. And he was just like, hang in there. He gave me a hug, and that was very nice because you come to these events as fans, and even though I interact with them, I see them all, most of them, because I have made a couple of people that I would consider friends from the reality TV world. But for the most part, I consider them friendly acquaintances. So for me to go in there and for them to like remember me and remember things that I have told them, either the last time that I met with them or the last time that I saw them, or remember things that I have commented on their page or their channel or whatever, it makes you feel good, especially when it's something that personal. Um, Big D is a good guy, man. Big D is a nice guy. I've always enjoyed every interaction and meeting that I had with him, but that was specifically meaningful. Yeah, his father was Joe Frazier, and I actually saw Joe Frazier in Madison Square Garden the same year that he passed. I went to a basketball game and he was there, like a few seats over from me, and they honored him in the building. So that was pretty cool. Let me see. I think I covered everybody. I talked to Dina, and I told Dina, I'm like, it's so cool to meet you after following you all these years on Jersey Shore, and I'm like, I'm glad that you guys got a second chance to come back and do y'all thing. Oh, I forgot about this dude. I didn't watch Summer House. I guess that's his original show. I haven't really watched any Bravo shows, but this is Kyle from the Traders. Uh, she was the only one from Jersey Shore that was there. I wish there was others, but she's super popular. I don't know if I said that earlier, but when she got in the building, like people were on her. Like people were like, "Oh my God, it's Dina." But I guess that shouldn't be that big of a surprise because Jersey Shore has been on so long and it has such a big cult following that she would be one of the more popular people there. I think that I have pretty much. I can't think of anyone else that I spoke to that I didn't mention. Oh yeah, so I spoke to Claire. That was Claire from Survivor. I think from this last season of Survivor, and she had put up a funny comment about a picture I took with her at the Survivor event when I posted that, and I was just talking to her about that. And then I also was asking her what it was like for her being on Survivor, and she was like, honestly, Survivor was easy for me. And I'm like, even with the whole thing with the food and the competitions and all that, and she was like, I did not experience difficulty being on Survivor. She was like, I did 8 days. I was only there 8 days. If I had to do another like 30 days, I would be able to do another 30 days. Like she was like, for me, it wasn't as hard as people make it seem. Oh, this is a video I got of it's like Monty and Big D. Monty and Big D seem to be really cool. They had like a really good rapport. This is random, but this is Brent from BB23 season. And I was like, I noticed that you are always at all the parties with the Survivor. I mean, always at all the parties with all the BB23 people. And he was like, oh, yeah, they like me. He was like, they like me, but they don't tell. They didn't like me in the house, or like they were cool with me in the house, but they weren't saying it on the show. They weren't saying it on the show. He was like, I wish they had said that they like me on the show so that I could have made it further. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, I posted these pictures already. You know, Hannah, Joe. You know, I was me talking to Joe. I showed you guys Dina, Aza. Yeah, Indy. You know, spoke to Indy. But yeah, it was a good time. That's about the end of my recap. Yeah, those are the most notable things for me. The comments that Big D gave me about, you know, grieving. My conversation with Amira. Honestly, if you spoke to Amira in person, you would have a whole different impression of her. I mean, I think so. I don't know what other people would say, but that's my take. Like when I meet people, I didn't know what I would say to Amira, quite honestly, because I don't think she was on the show for all that long. She's going to be on the Challenge USA 2 coming up. She said some things about that, but I'm not going to say them because they would be spoilers. People hate spoilers. What was I going to say about Amira? Something else I was going to say about Amira, but it slipped my mind. Oh, yeah. She was just like, I don't know why everybody thinks I'm mean. If you guys go and look at my short, there was a video of me talking to Amira and then Joseph like jumping into the conversation. So that conversation was part of the conversation I had with Amira. Like I said, it was a long conversation. And she was just like, how much does it cost to get in? There's different tiers. The cheapest ticket was like $30 and the most expensive was like 110 or something like that. Yeah, she was just saying, I don't know why everybody thinks that I'm like mean and threatening. She was like, I'm actually a really nice person in real life. And she was like, Joseph, come here. Joseph came over there. And he was like, and she was like, I'm a nice person, right? And you know me, I'm a nice person, right? And he was like, I think he said something like, you can be. Or he was just like, I wouldn't want to be on your bad side, or like I wouldn't want to be your enemy or something like that. And I thought that was pretty funny. But she was very nice to me. And I would say the people that I've met in general that I've had the best conversations with are from these shows. I would have to put her on that list from yesterday. Not at the top of the list, but you know, on the list. Hannah, obviously, like I always have great conversations with Hannah, and she's so like down to earth. Big D, you know, like Big D is regular degular. Again, I mean that in a complimentary way. Sam, probably the either one or two in terms of favorite people that I've met from these shows, like one or two. Who else? I think those are the main ones because a lot of the rest of them, I'm only able to speak to them for a few. And I understand because a lot of them want to get around the room and like give as many people an opportunity to talk to them. But people like Hannah, she'll stand there and have a whole conversation with each person. As long as that conversation is like, she won't just leave the conversation like, oh, somebody else wants to talk to me. She'll finish talking to that person in its entirety and then move on to the next person. I've noticed that. And that was the situation when I spoke to Amira. Sam was different because I didn't meet her at an event. So, I got more time to speak to her than I did anybody else just because of I met her separately from an event. But so I can't really judge her by the same gauge. There was this lady, I don't know her name. You watched The Amazing Race, right, Lisa? These two people, this one lady from The Amazing Race and this guy, they said they finished second place on a season of The Amazing Race a few seasons ago. This tall white guy and this lady, they did what was it? She did like a J-Lo. She did a J-Lo performance, and that was like one of the best of the night. Aza did Andre 3000. That was really good. Like, I wish I could show you guys this stuff, but I can't put it on with sound because if I put it on with the sound, it's getting taken down. Oh, they did a Spice Girls. I can't get into it either, to be honest with you. I tried. I watched a couple episodes and I'm like, this is not my cup of tea. I would love to know the. I would not. That would I don't understand. I don't understand that, Janet. Like, I really don't. I don't understand how people like to know the end before they know the beginning. To me, this person, I don't know who she is, but she was like performance of the night. She performed all the J-Lo songs. Yeah, that was probably the one that stood out to me the most. Brittany, that's who I forgot. Brittany from BB23. She was part of a group that did some Beyonce stuff. Hannah was in that group. Big D, Big D was Beyonce. There's a let me see here.
I will tell you right now, if you don't know that as a 10, y'all ain't real fans.
Yeah. I know you can't really see that too well, but yeah, I can't really. Posting that stuff is just not. Oh yeah, and Cash doing Ego. I showed you guys that she did Ego on what's it called? The Survivor karaoke party that I was at last time. She did it now with the group, 3 of them. Oh, I didn't mention Cash actually on that interview list. But I asked Cash, I was like, Cat, did she say she lives in New York? I don't know. Anyways, I asked Cash. I told her about my channel also, and I asked her about interviewing on the channel. And she was just like, I don't do interviews. Like I go on the shows, but I'm not like an interview person. I just kind of live my life. And she also mentioned, you know, mental health. Like she has mental health issues, which I can relate to. And I actually kind of knew that because I have seen, since I started following her on social media, I've actually seen that. Like, I've seen her post about that in between. Like, you will see a lot of other stuff. You'll see her, like her model pictures and her vacations and all that kind of stuff. But once in a while, you'll see her make a post about like social anxiety and feeling a need to isolate or be away from people for a little bit, recharge, those kind of things. So I knew that about her from following her. But she was like, I do love to support Black businesses. And she was like, I would love to support you in some way. She said, if you could do an interview where we don't talk about Love Island and we don't talk about the challenge and we talk about like mental health or something like that, I would be willing to do something like that. And I was like, wow, you're talking to the right person, because I love talking about that stuff. That's my field. Like, that's what I do. And she was like, great, we can set it up, inbox me, and we will set up this conversation about mental health. So I've given you guys about 7 or 8 people. I told you I was going to shoot my shot often. I was going to shoot my shot. I haven't, I'm going to talk to Big D tonight and ask Big D if he will do an interview too. I asked basically everybody that I knew in there for the most part. Few that I didn't ask, but I asked like the majority of the ones that I actually knew from anything. And most of them said yes. The only person who said no, a couple of people didn't really say yes or no, like Amira. She didn't say no. She said I would love to do something like that, but that's not really a confirmation. It was just like, sounds good. Nobody said no, actually. Everybody either said yes or maybe. So I have always been like worried, like, what if somebody gives me some big rejection and is like, nah, I would never do your podcast or whatever. But now I'm sitting here like, if I had started asking these people earlier on, I probably would have been had a lot of these interviews, because it is an advantage to be able to actually go to whatever they have in here in New York and talk to them and ask them to their face, because this is a lost art. And the thing with me is, it's not a lost art with me. That's my skill set. I'm not good with this online stuff. I'm not good with this putting things on Twitter and Instagram, tagging people and making the right captions and making sure my page is lit. Anyone who follows my pages and anywhere, my most popular online thing that I have ever done is my music and mental health YouTube page. That's the first time I ever had any semblance of an audience. I always get much more traction when I meet people and speak to them in person. So I realized I need to start utilizing my people skills. My people skills will help me to get the things that I need. Like 7, 8 people. If I was just sending them DMs, I might have a response from like 1 of them, 2 of them. Like, I actually emailed Hannah, sent a long email about an interview that I want to do with her earlier this year. I sent her an email. It's like, I want to talk about this. I met you here and here, blah, blah, blah. I never got a response. But the thing is, when I asked her, when I saw her, the yes that she gave me was like, didn't even finish the question and the answer was already there and it was already locked into her calendar. So it's like, as much as that is out of my comfort zone to do, like, hey, I got this podcast, blah, 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 like, they were receptive to it. And I think part of why they were receptive too was because I didn't just walk up to them and be like, boom, here's my card. I spoke to them first. It's like, talk to them about whatever their show experience or things that I liked or observed, and just had a regular conversation. And then when the conversation was closing and they're like, I'm going to go over here, like, nice meeting you type of thing. At that point, I'm like, hey, I have a podcast and I would love for you to be on it. Blah, blah, blah. And they were like, sure, I'd love to, or I'll think about it, or I like how it sounds. And I'm about to go, but one last thing, I'll be right back. I want to shout out a page follower, Patricia. If y'all watched, I'm going to show you guys in a second. Just give me a second. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Okay. So if anybody watched Sam on the Circle, she had a pair of slippers that she was always wearing on the show. These slippers right here. So I actually had planned to do this for a giveaway at an event, because I was trying to throw an event with her. I still want to do that. It might happen, it might not. I hope it does. Still in communication with her, so hopefully at some point in time the stars align. Because hey, look at this thing with Nicole. Like Nicole, I thought that interview would never happen, right? It still hasn't happened, but she told me, like, let's talk about that tomorrow. So today is tomorrow. So I ran a contest on my page for the famous Sam slippers. Man. Only one person participated. That person was Patricia, and therefore Patricia wins by default. So Patricia, if you're watching this, congratulations. I am going to be sending these slippers off maybe today. Maybe I might do that in a couple of hours. Every so often, I'm going to run promotional things like that. Just the purpose of that is just to build engagement on my channel. And she was like, she was laughing when she was sending me her info to send it. She was laughing like, letting you know, Mark, like, I won your thing by default. That's okay, because I have a Killer Cam shirt, Cam from the challenge, that I won in a costume party. for the a Challenge Mania event that was around Halloween, and they said wear costumes, and nobody had a costume on. So I had a Where's Waldo costume, which I thought was gonna get beat out easily by other costumes. It was just, the striped shirt and the glasses and the hat. Because I was like, I need a cheap option, and I'm not that creative when it comes to putting together Halloween costumes. So they were like, "Hey, come here, you won. Nobody else has a costume on." So ain't nothing wrong with winning a prize by default. I also won a saxophone competition by default when I was a kid. There was two people. There was me and one other person that were supposed to go head to head at this competition. The second person no-showed, and I just went through my piece and I won first prize. And the judges were like, "Oh, don't feel any kind of a way that the other person didn't show up. You still had to show up and play and earn this first place certificate. You did the thing." And I'm sitting there like, y'all think I'm actually going to tell my classmates and everything, and when I go to school and brag about this, y'all think I'm going to tell them that I was the only one who showed up? I'm just going to show them that first place thing. This is probably the first time I've publicly said, this is the first time I've publicly said that I was the only person in that saxophone competition. And that's only because none of y'all knew me when I was 10. Killer Cam. I think I have this shirt. I think I just saw this shirt, actually. It happened to be somebody I really like, too. I'm like, yo, I didn't come here expecting to win this contest, but I be wearing this shirt, and people outside of my challenge community are like, I always have this shirt nearby. They're like, "Who's Killer Cam?" I'm like, "You don't know Killer Cam? Killer Cam from the challenge? Come on now. I was number one in this costume contest, and that's how I got the shirt. Because I had the dopest costume in history. And because nobody else had a costume, but that's neither here nor there. I don't know why this turned off. I guess it was telling me that it was time to go. But last thing, announcements. The Big Brother season starts tonight. I'm going to be at the premiere party. Because the premiere party will involve the show playing rather than music playing, I will probably be on live. I'll be able to be on live longer than I was today. So you'll be able to see me in the building with all the people that are there. Hopefully I'm going to make it a point to get to talk to Brittany, because that's one person I didn't get to talk to today. I'm going to find Brittany first if I can, or one of the first if she's there. I think Taylor's going to be there, so hopefully I get to talk to Taylor tomorrow. I mean today. I'm saying tomorrow. Wow, time is going. This is tonight, guys. This is tonight. I'm excited. This is tonight. So on my way home, I might do like a little episode recap or breakdown or something. And then the live feeds. That's the other thing I was going to say. The live feeds start at 12:30. 8-3. 12:30 a.m. if you're on the East Coast. 9:30 p.m. if you're on the West Coast. And y'all know me and my live feed parties, so I don't know how late y'all are going to be up, but I'm going to be up late. I just determined that this week I'm sacrificing my sleep for the sake of my community. because I barely slept last night. I'm not gonna be getting much sleep tomorrow. Thursday, I have an interview with Shubi from the Circle. Yeah, Friday, man. It's just a week where I'm not gonna sleep that much. So if I get home early enough, which I hope to get home early enough, I'm gonna pop on the live feeds for you guys. And we're gonna do our first live feed party of the season. Sunday, my interview with Wes is gonna be up on this channel. Next Thursday, Challenge USA is going to be premiering. I did get a chance to meet and speak to Chanel. I'm not sure if I'm going to do an event with Chanel or not. The people who are on my members tab, I'll tell you why. But Chanel is a cool person. Chanel from Survivor. And she's going to be on Challenge USA. I said I was going to be doing a watch party with her. But I think that I'm wondering to myself if instead of a watch party, I could do something else. An interview, something. I don't know. Figure something out. You know what? Big Brother is an investment, Lisa. I was thinking about it before it started. I was like, oh, I can't wait for Big Brother to come back. Like, I'm so excited about Big Brother. And then I was like, man, my life is going to be sacrificed to the Big Brother gods until November. And then Survivor is going to come back and the challenge is going to be on at the same time. So for like a content creator who covers those shows, it's great to have a lot of content, but covering the content consumes your life. So my life is not going to be my life for a few months, but then I'm just going to think of the 8 to 9, 10 months, whatever it was, that I was struggling for things to talk about and things to post, and enjoy the feast time, because this can be feast or famine. Come November, December, I know that like probably my channel is gonna peak like late September to early October. That's gonna be when my channel is at its peak. And then probably like December, January, I'll be like, I'm so bored. I wish I had shows to cover right now. So I'm gonna enjoy it, enjoy the ride. Yeah, it's I'm doing things differently now, because once you take a hit like losing a parent, it's like you realize that life is too short to not be aggressively trying to do things that you love, trying to do things that bring you joy, trying to do things that make you happy. So that's why I've been stepping out more. I've been shooting my shot more. I've been doing things more that are outside of my comfort zone, because at the end of this life, at the very least, I want to be able to say that I put a strong focus and emphasis on my happiness. I believed in myself. I gave it a try to do all the things that I want to do in life. And one day I want someone to be able to look back and be like, that is Mark's legacy. Mark is somebody who didn't go down the beaten path and instead found his own lane, created the things that he wanted to see in his life, and just made an impact in a way that others haven't. And that's sad. Man, Lisa, I worked. Oh man, I worked. The only reason I'm still on here is because you're on here, to be honest. You're the reason. You're the culprit of why I end up being on these so long. I worked retail during the summer, during a holiday season, which was Thanksgiving. Was it? Is there a holiday before Thanksgiving? No, it was Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. Those 5 or 6 days, terrible. The people were in those stores like animals. My feet were hurting so bad from running to the back so much to check things for them and helping with disputes at the register and just fixing up the clothes and oh goodness, I would never. The retail days are done. I'm sorry. We'll all help keep each other up and running. Absolutely. I don't know if other channels say this, but there's no Mark's channel without the people who follow my channel. Yes, Mark will be Mark everywhere. You know what I'm saying? If I didn't do this channel ever again, I'm still going to be who I am on the street, at my job, when I do my public speaking, when I do music, when I do my photography. Like, I'm still going to be me no matter where my platform is, but my online platform is because of the people who support me. Thank y'all. That's why I'm here. So happy to hear this. Thank you. Sorry about that. Yes. So that's everything. And shout out to the replay crew whenever y'all see this. I know a lot of you probably sleeping or work or whatever you're doing. You're probably not getting notifications because YouTube hates me for some reason. But thank you again. And Big Brother's coming. I'll see you guys tonight. I don't have the fit yet. I'm going to have to figure out the fit. I don't have anything that I quite like right now, so I might have to get another shirt. I'm thinking a red short sleeve shirt. I was looking for one the other day. I couldn't find one, but I love wearing a red shirt. Red is like a power color. And I want to find one that fits just right. And if I find that, that's probably what I'm going to be wearing to the premiere party. Yeah, that's that. Lisa, are you a mod? If not, I got to make you a mod. I mean, is it a mod? That's what it's called? Yeah. We got to get you a wrench. Janet, I don't know if you have a wrench on this channel, but if not, I'm going to have to give y'all wrenches. Yes, so have a great day.
So you literally were one of my very first followers. And then when you followed me and I, followed back, I was like, this dude is cool. Like,
if they say talk to your manager, you just say, you know what, talk to the hand. You don't need to be on my podcast. But yeah, dude. Yeah, you do a great job.
Thank you. I always get a kick out of talking with you on Patreon. You have a really good, view on it.
That wasn't planned.
You know what?
Thank
But
you.
I like this Canadian. I
Well,
like this one.
well, thank you.